Okay, fellas. So today we need to talk about the tariff of the United States of America to the world. Some of the people send me messages trying to ask me to explain what are the impact of the tariffs and the tax. And I know you probably know it. Congratulations. We appreciate that. But please bear with us. A lot of us do not quite understand what they mean by tariffs. They just hear Trump put tariff on Zimbabwe, tariff on Botswana, tariff on Lesotho, about 50%. People don't quite understand what it means. So this is family, right? We need to help some of us that don't quite understand. You cannot pretend to know everything. You may be very smart in economy or finances and understand what tariff means. Maybe the other guy doesn't quite understand. Or maybe he's strong in agriculture. You are not necessarily strong in agriculture. Okay, what's up, everybody? I hope you're doing good. It's a beautiful day. Thank you very much for stopping by. You are appreciated. This is home, fellas. This is your first time. Thank you for being here. We're going to bombard, just be patient. You're going to have a lot of fun here. If you want to know about Africa, this is the place you want to be. Yes, on YouTube, you're going to find a lot of videos talking about Africa, the motherland, whatnot. But as good as this and as fun as this, no, you ain't going to find it. Thank you very much for being here. My name is Zack. I don't know who you are, but if you watch this video till the end, we're certainly going to love each other. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the tariffs that Donald Trump has implemented and the impact of the tariff across the world. And specifically, in this instance, on the United States of America. I know we have a lot of brothers and sisters here from the US watching us, and some of them actually maybe don't quite grasp it. What does it mean for America? So Trump has implemented taxes across the world. Well, what's going to happen? Prices will go up. Okay? Prices will go up thanks to Donald J. Trump. His logic is very simple. He wants to cut the reliance on foreign goods to bring jobs back to America and make it great again. Will America be great again? Question mark. Watch.
2nd, 2025 will forever be remembered as the day American industry was reborn, the day America's destiny was reclaimed, and the day that we began to make America wealthy.
Tariff will make imported goods expensive, and that extra money will come from who? From American pockets. Let's say, simple example, American company buys beer from Mexico or car parts from Canada. But now they have tariff, unlike before. Therefore, they have to pay extra for these goods. What will happen basically is manufacturers and company will have to pass the cost to the consumer. So I spend more money to acquire the product that you need, so you can pay more money to get the final product. That's basically what's going to happen to the American pocket. Now, what does this mean? I know people talk about tariffs and you think it's just about big companies and stuff. In the everyday life, how does tariff from Donald Trump affect you as a person? I've got a list here, a quick list for you guys so we can understand each other further. Number one, houses. Houses in America, 90% of it are made of lumber or timber, or maybe wood, depending on how you want to say it. Lumber, timber, or wood, it's the same thing. Now, US import 1/3 of its timber from Canada. Yes, interesting. It's very interesting actually because American houses are very expensive. You see, US house, look at this. This is $500,000. But a big chunk of it is made out of wood. Now, you want to talk about mansions, real mansions, you need to go to Africa. My brother, you need to go to Africa. You go check African houses, you're going to see mansions, real mansion, made out of strong, tough, hardened material, like real stuff, real cement, real mansion. But they don't cost $500,000 or $1 million or $2 million. They are much, much cheaper than that. Yeah, rationally, $100,000, you're going to have a mansion, big mansion. Matter of fact, if you build it yourself with your own money, you buy the land and you do the plot and you do the everything, you're probably going to spend less than $60,000 to build a real mansion in Africa. So maybe the money you've been spending on the bank with this wood, and look at this, look how the American house is broken. This one is destroyed already. But if you ask, the price is over $200,000. With the money you're looking to spend on little thing, maybe you need to come to Africa and start investing and have a beautiful house, beautiful plot, beautiful land, nice landscape, and a few cows if you like cows, sheeps, every morning. Just imagine you getting up with the from a rooster or a man from, you know what I mean? It's nice. If you experienced that before. I mean, it's crazy that a lot of Americans have never heard a goat go meh or a sheep. It's insane. We see that every single day. I mean, literally, there are no Africans that have never experienced at least a rooster in the morning. Anyway, let's get back on tax. So basically, the tariff on timber will make everything go up. And by extension, the prices of houses will go up. And it's going to be very, very complicated for a lot of people. Number 2 on the list is cars. Okay. Trump announced 25% tariff on car parts. Trump believes it will revive the American car industry.
But such horrendous imbalances have devastated our industrial base and put our national security at risk. I don't blame these other countries at all for this calamity. I blame former presidents and past leaders who weren't doing their job. They let it happen, and they let it happen to an extent that nobody can even believe.
You know, he's a big fan of America, and I can understand him loving America like that. But unfortunately, can you really live by yourself in 2025? Unlike the way we used to live in the past, where you could sustain everything yourself, can you cut yourself from the world and produce everything? So 25% tax and tariff on cars or car parts. So fellas, cars are the second largest purchase for Americans in 2025. That's the latest report. And US cars imported in 2024, about 8 million vehicles. That's a lot of cars. And that's around $240 billion. Yes, those are the cars America imports. I know a lot of people think America make cars for Americans. Well, not all cars in America are Americans. Many cars are imported. Some of the times, the parts of the cars that are supposed to be Americans are imported from other countries. And Trump imposed 25% tariff on Canada and Mexico. And fellas, most of these companies and makers rely heavily on international chain. Car parts are also manufactured there. Therefore, the prices of car in America, as per some experts, will go from $4,000 to $10,000 extra. That's a lot of money. Number 3 on the list, my people, is oil. Yes, oil. United States of America import crude oil, more than 60% of it from Canada. And Canada is the largest supply to the US. I really don't know why Donald Trump just chose to pick on Canada. You know, speaking down on them in a condescending manner. I don't know why they did. America needs 60% of its oil from Canada. And they've implemented tax on Canada. So what's going to happen? Well, expect the oil and petrol and fuel, gas. You call it gas in America, right? Because it's gas. Some people call it oil. Some people call it petrol. Some people call it fuel. Some people say fuel. It depends on where you go. You say gas. Now, your gas price is about to go up. Number 4, fellas, it's alcohol. Now, if you're a fan of Mexican brand like Modelo or Corona, brace yourself. You're about to be hit very hard. No, what's going to happen? Mexican beers will cost more. Same for the aluminum they use for the cans. So that's same for bourbon, tequila, and Canadian whiskey. So your weekend, fella, is going to get more expensive. Or the barbecues that you did inviting your friends, you're probably going to have to put a subtraction to that. And I don't know if you're happy about that. Number 5 of things that's going to get more expensive, daily groceries. Okay, so your avocado, your apple syrup will get more expensive. Nearly 90% of US avocado come from Mexico. I didn't know America needed people so much. I mean, the way America behave, I'm not talking about the people. The way the American policy behave right now is like America needs nobody. America just helps. Well, 90% of US avocado comes from Mexico. So you're going to say goodbye to your guacamole and your maple syrup. No more, waffles with syrup. You're going to eat the waffle with no syrup. Or that thing you eat in the morning. What you call it? That thing you put the syrup on. But anyway, in America, you put syrup on everything. It's crazy. When I went to the US the first time, I saw people give me breakfast with a pancake and syrup and bacon. Pancake, bacon, and syrup. We don't eat that in Africa. Sorry. No, we don't do that. That's like savory and super. No. We don't do that. But so you better come back to Africa so we can teach you, the original way. Use syrup, and you must leave that to Bazungu, please. Anyway, so what is the end goal? Donald Trump believes that this tariff will boost American manufacturing industry. They will produce everything domestically. So he expects America to start producing everything domestically and boost the economy. Well, it's not going to happen that way, especially Trump has opted for the bullying way of doing things. Unfortunately for Donald Trump, US manufacturers are not ready to meet the demand. It takes years to build a supply chain from scratch. Until then, the consumer will have to pay the price. In other words, as much as the idea may sound good, it takes many years to build a supply chain that's independent. And America at this specific time cannot do it by itself. Until America gets to that, you, the people, are going to have to pay the price for it. So fellas, I think we need to say that tariffs don't just stop at the grocery store or the petrol pump. You see, some of us say shop and some people say store. So you understand. Anyway, we're still the same people. Tariffs don't stop at the grocery store, at the petrol pump. Tariffs go through the supply chain. They rip through the economy. You're going to get job cuts. Business will slow down. Export will slump. Prices will climb. Inflation will rise. With time and the spread of fear, there's a major risk of recession. So the big question is here, who will really suffer out of this tariff situation? You know, sometimes in life, you try to scare people. Okay, you try to intimidate people. You do it successfully a couple of times. Then it comes a time you do it one too much, where people are not afraid of you anymore. And then they push back. And once people learn that they can push back, you will never have the same power over them anymore. Donald Trump put tax on China, about 34%. Well, China didn't back down, unlike many African countries. They didn't cry on Trump's feet. They issued tax on America. Well, Trump, with his big ego, hit China with a much bigger tax. Well, China came back. Then Trump hits China for the third time with 145% tax. China issued 125% tax in the US, and they say they're not going to raise any more tax whether Trump decides to go up or not, because it makes no more economical difference for them to raise the tax on US goods. In other words, China sent a very strong message to the United States of America. We are not Lesotho. We are not going to beg you and ask you to forgive us to survive. We are not Zimbabwe. We are not going to open our markets to you so you can allow us to exist. We are not any of these African countries or any of these weak South American countries. We are China. That shows you, fellas, that you need independence and you need to be prepared. I mean, think about Africa. Look at all these countries here who are crying because they've cut aid from them. Look at all these African countries that are begging in 2025 to allow a person, not even a government, but a person who has decided to rattle everybody's everyday of life. Look at all these countries, Lesotho and South Africa, that's reviewing their policy of imposing company to sell at least 30% of equity to local black people in order to allow them to touch the economy. They are ready to forfeit that just so they can get into the good side of Donald Trump. Well, China has showed you the opposite. Let me know how you feel about this. The price of houses will go up, cars will go up, food will go up, petrol will go up, alcohol will go up, and everything will go up. Are we coming close to a recession? Let me know how you feel about this. It was a great pleasure. God bless.